Hey everyone, what's up and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by because today we're talking about the ABH Norvina Volume 4, Pro Pigment Volume 4, something along those lines. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's this bad boy right here, or should I say bad girl right here, because she is so pretty. She's all dressed in pink and I've got a whole lot coming at you. Swatches, a demo, thoughts, just a ton of stuff to talk about. So if you're interested in seeing how I liked this palette, if I did or if I didn't, and if it's right for you, then just stay tuned. Okay, y'all, we've got a lot to talk about today. So this 25 pan palette was kind of like the others that she released last year in that it was kind of quick notice because there wasn't a whole lot of time from the time we found out that that this was going to release to the time it actually released. And I know that was people's gripe last year, especially with the number 2 and 3 that she released at the same time. People were like bombarded. However, I do know that this is her only, or not only, because she came out with the little mini one earlier in the year in February, but this is her last palette for 2020. So if you are concerned about being slammed with new releases from the brand, this is her last palette for this year. So there's a lot to talk about in the way of color scheme, because you might think, well, with 3 prior 25 pan palettes, like what else is there aside from what she has already released? She released a ton. So let's go into first the description of the eyeshadow palette so that you first have an idea of what the theming is and all of that. So first of all, it says on the Sephora website, it is a professional grade artistry palette that features high performance eyeshadows and pigments with a spring inspired color story. So granted, we are already, I would say, almost well into summer, but spring has passed. So it makes me wonder if this whole pandemic has had or played a part in delaying it just a little bit. It's vegan and cruelty free. This limited edition Pro palette is part of the Norvina collection and features even more Norvina curated shadows and pigments for endless amounts of creative looks. Get inspired with a wide range of highly pigmented spring colors, from fresh florals and bright pops to muted mauves and rich neutrals. It does retail for $60, which may seem like a lot, but at the end of the day, you're getting 25 pans of product, and it's rare to get that much in an eyeshadow palette. So that being said, let's just go ahead and go into the packaging. So it is pink. This is my, y'all have heard this a million times, especially like with the Melt Cosmetics Millennial Pinks. This is my favorite tone of pink. Nothing to me is girlier, nothing's more feminine, nothing's prettier, more eye-catching. You get the idea. Even the little cardboard on the inside is pink. It all matches. This is what it looks like. It is the same size as the others. We'll go into that here in a bit. But just so that you have an idea or that you know the little tidbits of information, it is good for 18 months. I never paid attention to those because I've kept mine for like 18 years, quite frankly. And it is vegan, cruelty-free, and it is made in PRC, but that is consistent with her others, to include her minis and her larger ones. So just so that you know that. Wow, the sun really went away. So if you see a lighting change, I am so very sorry. So we're here in a little bit gonna compare these two, because I think this is the one that people are most gonna wonder if it is like that one, like the similarities. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Anyways, let's first go into this one. So again, this matches the box. That makes me happy. I'm just gonna say though, I've kept the boxes for the other 3. I know they match, but I still like to keep them in their boxes. So this is extremely beautiful, and it's got the black backing, nothing but a little sticker back here. So let's go ahead and take you into this color story here. So the first thing I want to address is similarity in shades. That is consistent amongst all of these palettes. Like I mentioned in the description, these are meant to be like pro artistry palettes. These are meant to be for makeup artists. So yes, you are gonna see not necessarily repeats, but you're gonna see a shade or two that may have 2 or 3 different variations that look similar, but don't apply super similar. So, I mean, people are a little bit annoyed by that. I can see that, but I can also see the other side of it, that when you're really wanting to add depth and dimension with like maybe a monochromatic look, you need those different types of variations. So it is a pro palette, like a actual artistry palette. That's the reason. So if you see some repetition here, that is consistent with the other 3 palettes as well. It's not something new, not like she was trying to come up with stuff. No, that's just the theming of these palettes. So this is a I've read that it is a very soft glam type of palette. I don't know that I ever got into the whole soft glam theme or trend. I don't even know that I would know exactly how to tell you what it is. I mean, most of y'all would even school me on what soft glam is. I know based on Instagram pictures and stuff like that, I've seen it, but I mean, I wouldn't look at this and tell you, oh, it's a soft glam palette. No, that's what I've just read that a lot of people are saying based on how they see this theme to go. So you've got a whole mix. You've got your mattes, you've got your satins, you've got some, they're not necessarily metallics, but they've got some sparkle built into the formula. You've got some loose glitter, which sign me up, that's right up my alley. So let's go ahead and first go into swatches, because it's going to take a little bit, and then we'll go into the rest of the review. All right, y'all, so consistent with her other palettes, these don't have official names. They literally just have like a letter and a number. So here we go, A1, A2, A3, A4. I don't even know if I need to call those out, just because you're going to know that's how we go. Then it's going to be like, the next row will be B1, B2, anyways. You know what, let me go ahead and give you the last one from this row so that we don't have to, okay. So I totally didn't show it to you on my finger, but this is the whole top row. This is the last one. This is actually A5, but I didn't have enough space to put it over here. So this is what this looks like. Definitely 3 out of those 5 are more pops of like sparkly type of shades, my kind of formula. So, or my kind of type shadow. Let's go into the next row. B row, B1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm gonna run out of room real quick. But a lot of y'all like it when I kind of gather them. I don't typically do that, again, because I feel like you can't see the shades as good on my arm, but y'all seem to like it. So this shade is absolutely beautiful. Oh, I love this color story. Okay, this is the C row. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's what you've got going on there. This shade right here is a little bit of like a duochrome. And I feel like I'm horrible at like describing those types of shades, because it's that lilac and I can't tell what it's, maybe got like a kind of reddish type of shift. I don't know, I'm horrible. It's just like scents. I'm horrible at describing those too. Oh gosh, y'all, I hope you can see that pretty well. Let's go into the D row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I did wipe my arm down so that we have some room for these. I apologize if that's not ideal. All right, the last row is the E row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I have to say this little rosy / baby pink matte is probably one of my very favorite pink shades of all time. It's so pretty, and it's very easy to work with. I'm just gonna tell you that right off the bat. So there we go with the last row, these 2 right here being the 2 glitters of this eyeshadow palette. There are 2 packed glitters, and that is them right there. Okay guys, that wraps up swatches and all of that good stuff. So let's go ahead and go into the demo. Let's put on one of my eyes of shadow so that you can see kind of real time how they perform, like how much I have to build up, that kind of thing. So I hope that's easy for you to follow. I hope you enjoy, and I'll be right back. So using a Morphe JH32, I'm going to start off using the shade E1, which is kind of a rosy, deeper baby pink sort of shade. And I'm just going to place this on the crease, or in the crease, I guess I should say. I did go in with a second layer. Typically, I don't need to because I will pack enough on the brush. Next up, I'm going to go in with B2 and a Morphe blending brush. My apologies, I don't know the name of this brush. It was part of a set. And so I'm just going to place this a little bit lower where I placed that E1 shade, just to kind of deepen it up a little bit. I'm trying to add several tones of, I guess, pink to make it look extra fancy. I'm just kidding. I'm going to go in with the shade E4. And that same blending brush, I just flipped it over, and I'm really just placing this on the outer portion of the lid. This is going to be the deepest shade that we use today, so I did layer that one more time after this application, so just to add a little bit more of a deep color. Next up, I'm going with the shade C1. It is a beautiful, beautiful shade. These are the kinds of shades I typically apply with my fingers, but so that you can see how it applies with the brush, I wanted to make sure that I showed you how that works. Now, I cut my crease on the last eye, and I forgot to do it with the eye I showed you. So going in with glitter adhesive, also by Anastasia. This one's not my favorite. I think I'm going to go back to Too Faced, just placing that in the inner portion of the lid, and going in with the shade E3. It's actually a glitter and a glitter applicator by Sephora. I don't have like any kind of applicator name for this. It was just part of a set that clearanced out some time back. So I'm just going to layer this down onto where I placed that glitter adhesive, because I want to make sure it doesn't fall into my eyes. I wear contact lenses, and it can be very painful when glitter falls in the eyes. I'm going to go back with the shade C1. We're going to use this shade quite a bit. Also going in with that same brush, and I'm just going to add a little bit more just to kind of blend where that meets the glitter. And then going back and doing E4, also with my same blending brush. I'm really just repeating a lot of these same steps, just because I feel like as you do one step, the last one kind of gets lost in translation, so you end up having to repeat a little bit of what you did before, which is fine. It's no big deal as long as it looks nice in the end. I like to think it looks nice, that I did a good job, but I'll let you be the judge. I went back in with C1 there in the middle. Now I'm going to go into the shade A3 with a Morphe JH43 on my lower lash line. So it's more of like a orchid magenta kind of shade. Definitely wanted to change it up for the lower lash line just so that it's not all the same, but the tone still ties in. We're going to go back to the shade E4 and that same liner brush, and I'm just going to place this on the outer portion just to kind of make it a little bit deeper and tie it into that outer part of the lid. So now I'm going to go in with a ColourPop liner in the waterline. It is called Piggy Bank. I think ColourPop makes some of the best colored like liners for the waterline. They seem to stay on my waterline, and they're pretty vibrant and true to the color that they're supposed to be. Next, I'm going to go in with A1 and a JH, it's by Morphe, JH42 on the inner corner. This is one of the most stunning shades in the palette, and quite frankly, probably one of my favorites overall from the ABH line. And this is the final product. Hope you enjoyed. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed that, and again, found it easy to follow. I hope it wasn't too all over the place. So let's go ahead and first go into these two right here, in case you have the question, like, okay, how similar are they? Because the first one, that was one of the reasons I really loved the first one over the other two. It had the neons and the brights, which sign me up. I will take neons and brights over neutral shades any day of the week. So it had the neons and the brights, but it also had the pinks and the purples, which to me, okay, Barbie Dream palette, yes, sign me up. Just so many reasons to love this palette. And I'm just gonna tell you, I do want to preface by saying that I did love all of the first three. Truly, they're just really great palettes, especially, again, if you're someone like me and loves really bright shades, then they're super easy to work with. Anyways, so this is the first one. You're gonna see there, again, a lot of neons, a lot of brights, a lot of punches of color, and then you've also got like the neon pink, and you've got the pink right here, and then you've got some of the lilacs and purples. So yes, there is pink and purple in this palette, and so that's just, you know, I even thought, okay, I wonder how similar they're gonna be. You're gonna find that they're absolutely different. I mean, there could be a little crossover, but quite frankly, I find them to be highly, highly different. So here is what they look like. When I say you might see a couple of little crossovers, I mean like maybe the neon pink, that you're gonna see down on this right hand upper corner, and then the pink over here that's on the, I guess the way it's facing you, the lower corner all the way to the right. So this one right here and that one right here. So yes, a little bit of similarity with those two. I'll give you a couple of swatches in a second, but this one's a little bit more muted. This one's gonna be a little bit more softer, hence the whole soft glam thing that people are saying. Very, very different. This one's more bold or bolder, and this one isn't as much. This one's gonna give you the softer, more romantic looks than the other one will. So let me give you just the swatches for those two neon shades. There you go. So yes, very, very similar. The undertones are different though. This is a more, I think, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I have a hard time detecting like undertones and stuff. But if I were to just look, I'd say this one has more of a like stronger blue undertone. Is that a thing with pink? Anyways, this one looks more neon pink than this one does. And this is the one from the first palette. So really that's gonna be, let me give you another swatch as well, just so that you can, I don't want you to say I didn't fully tell you. I'm gonna give you the couple of like plum berries. So see, those two are also, as I blind you with my mirror, those two are also similar, but again, different in tone. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch them here. So let's do 1 and 2. So the brighter one is from the first palette. The one that's a little deeper is from this palette, but similar, of course, obviously. Then let's go in with these two. And again, you're gonna see some similarity, but the one on the right here, that one is deeper than this one right here. On camera, they may look so similar that you're like, oh, that is too similar, but there are differences. Again, they're considered to be pro palettes. You're gonna use them for maybe doing makeup on people. Maybe you're gonna do like super creative and extensive looks on yourself. It is what it is. And for the average collector, you're gonna end up with dupes overall in your eyeshadow collection. So it's just one of those things where I don't mind a couple of very close similarities. I mean, if it were like half the palette, then I'd say, yeah, we have an issue. So that is that. Let's go ahead and go into my final thoughts for this sweet thing right here. Okay, so I already told you that the casing or the packaging is absolutely beautiful. I love it. If I could give it like a total dazzled for just that, I would. It's absolutely stunning. Let's go ahead and go into the mattes, which is what I usually do first. I find these to be a lot softer than a ton of the ABH and Anastasia matte shades. Now granted, I know that the Norvina formula is different from the ABH formula. I actually like this matte formula better than I do the Anastasia. Sorry, I feel like I'm getting you all confused. The Norvina ABH formula is different from the Anastasia formula. I like the Norvina ABH formula. I feel like I'm having such a hard time spitting that out. This formula I like so much better than the Anastasia formula. Just, it is so nice. It's softer, it's easier to work with. I think it builds really nicely. Now, as far as the like more neon shades, which again, this one doesn't have as many of them, but like for example, this one right here, they go on very nicely. They go on better with a white base. So the eyeshadow primer I used was the Anastasia primer, which is a stark white base. And a lot of times I'll use either the ColourPop white concealer, especially like if I'm cutting a crease. The P. Louise one is good as well. It's just not as stark white. So it shows up better with just a flat out white base. Just letting you know that in case you start using this and you're like, why doesn't it look as vibrant? It's because it will take it up a notch when you use a white base. But as far as the mattes, I've had no issues. They blend really nicely. They go on very nicely. If I go in with a lot of product on the brush, then that's the only time I dip in. I don't keep on going in. Anyways, that's that. Let's talk about these two little duochromes right here. This purple one and then this pink one right here. These are the ones that are like a thinner formula that a lot of brands do now, and it's not my favorite type of shade. I feel like you don't get as much payoff. It ends up looking a little dull and lackluster on the eyes, and these two are no exception, at least for me. They don't, I could do without them. I know people like them. I mean, obviously brands keep putting them out you know, in their palettes, but it's just not my cup of tea. I would rather a richer, creamier formula, same shades, but like a creamier formula, because those types end up looking so much more rich on my eyes. Again, those end up looking a little dull and lackluster, and it is what it is. Anyways, the glitters are very pretty. I love me a loose glitter, a packed glitter in a pan, whatever. This one that I put on my eyes today is my favorite out of the two. I feel like these never show up as nicely, these white bases with like the holographic type of different flecks of color in there. I feel like those never look as good on me as something like this, but this one, hands down, I love. But a lot of people love these kinds too. So there's kind of something in here for everyone amongst the two, and that is that. We'll also say this one has a very like strong green kind of shift. And I feel like, because I had bought the holiday set, the glitter set, when it came out during the Christmas season, and I feel like it kind of looks pretty similar to one of those. Anyways, that's that. Let's go into all of these standout shades, which that's pretty much why I'm here for the party. And I got to tell you, they are so incredible. They are so pretty. They steal the show. If anything, I would buy this palette just for those. The one I put in my inner corner, one of these days, I can't believe I haven't thought to put this as a highlight yet, because I think it would be so, so stunning. It is incredible. This pink right here, so, so pretty. It reminds me very much of the one from the Amrezy palette. Very, very much, but so, so pretty. I love that shade. Again, just this bronze right here, I told you when I was doing the swatches, it really is stunning. Just very, very pretty. It is a standout pop, and adding this with brights all around, so, so pretty. Love it. So basically, depending on what you're here for this palette would make it right for you or not right for you. Whether you like brights, whether you like, you know, softer tones. I feel like there's some of that in here for everybody. Whether you like glitters, whether you like, I don't even know what they're called. It's not like a satin, it's not a metallic. These sparkly type shades. I don't know. School me in the comments below if you know exactly what the finish type is called. Anyways, depending what you're here for, I think there's something in here for everybody, quite frankly. If you're annoyed by the repetition or whatever, well, then that's just a decision you have to make. For me, this is a total score. I love it. I am dazzled by it. I'm going to be using this pretty consistently for a while, especially because it's her last one this year. So I find myself getting a ton of use out of this one before she launches another one. Like, I think I'm going to be really happy just putting this one to good use. And it's such a pretty romantic, like I said, girly type of overall scheme or theme, and the pack, it just all ties in so well. One of my favorite purchases so far. I hope that helps you guys. In case you're wondering, I hope I didn't confuse you even more. But truly, long story short, there's kind of something in here for everybody, so it's definitely worth checking out. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. I enjoyed spending some time with you today. I'm sorry I had such a hard time talking. What is the deal? I might be a little hungry, I might be a little hangry, I guess. So it's time for me to go get a snack. So today's verse for you, because you know I can't leave you without a verse. I love talking makeup, but even more so I love imparting a little bit of encouragement for you, whatever your day may look like, whatever, you know, this current chapter of your life is looking like. Just a little bit of encouragement. Today's comes from Matthew 17:20, and it says, Jesus said, I tell you the truth, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. Thank you so much again for spending time with me today. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the very next video. Until then, have a wonderful day. See you soon.